still exists. My younger sister had just given birth to a baby girl with tiny hands and a sleepy smile. It should have been one of the happiest times of her life, but her husband had been deployed overseas just weeks before the delivery. So instead of coming home to celebration, she was coming home to an empty house. No partner, no help at night, just silence, exhaustion, and a newborn she loved more than anything. Every time I visited, I could see it in her eyes. She was trying to stay strong, but she was overwhelmed, sleep-deprived, and deeply lonely. So I planned a small welcome home party for her and the baby, just something to remind her she wasn't alone. I decorated the living room with soft pink balloons and banners that said, "Welcome baby girl." I cooked all her favorite foods and even baked a cake from scratch, even though I'm terrible at baking. Then I invited everyone, family, close friends, the people who had promised they'd be there for her. The day came, and when she walked in holding the baby, her face lit up. "Did you do all this?" she asked. I smiled and said, "You deserve it." For a while, she kept looking at the door every time she heard a car outside. "Maybe they're just running late," she said. I nodded, but I was starting to worry. An hour passed, then another. The food sat untouched. The balloons barely moved. Her smile slowly faded, and by the third hour, the truth was impossible to ignore. Nobody was coming, not one person. She sat on the couch, rocking her baby, and said, "It's okay. People are busy." But her voice said one thing, and her eyes said another. She looked forgotten. I felt sick. I had wanted to give her one beautiful memory, and instead, it felt like I had handed her proof that people hadn't shown up. That's when my 14-year-old son, who had been quietly watching everything, looked at me and said, "Mom, can I try something?" I had no idea what he meant, but I said yes. He ran upstairs. About 20 minutes later, I heard footsteps coming back down, and when I turned around, I almost laughed. He was dressed like a clown, full face paint, a bright red nose, one of my oversized shirts hanging on him like a costume, balloons in his hands. He stood in the middle of the room, cleared his throat dramatically, and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate the most important girl here." Then he pointed at the baby and her tired, brave mom, and just like that, he started his show. He tried juggling oranges from the kitchen and dropped them instantly. He twisted balloons into weird little disasters, and the jokes were absolutely terrible. Why don't babies need alarm clocks? Because they already wake everyone up, I groaned. But my sister laughed. At first it was small, then another laugh came. Then she laughed so hard she started crying, but this time those tears weren't from sadness. And for the first time since bringing that baby home, she didn't look alone. She looked seen. She looked loved. By the end of the night, no one else had come, but the room didn't feel empty anymore. Because one kid in clown makeup and a red nose had filled it with more love than a house full of adults ever could. When my sister got ready to leave, she hugged my son tightly and whispered, "You're going to be the best uncle." He just shrugged like it was nothing, like he hadn't completely